We are everywhere. Jamaicans, there is no corner of the globe that you look that you will not find at least one of us. So it's no surprise to find out a Jamaican or two repping on the Amazing Race reality TV show. 34 seasons in on, is it CBS for real? We have father-daughter duo Linton and Sharik Atkinson zooming in to join us now to talk about their experience. Good morning, as Empress would say, my people, my people, my people. How y'all doing? Yeah.
We good. Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Good morning.
Jamaica.
Boy, Linton,
Happy
I'm looking at your shirt, Linton, and I can't tell where you're from.
It's not obvious at all. Not obvious.
It's so good to have you both here. Wow, wow, wow. So this is an amazing experience. I was reading about it, and you all have been traveling the world. First of all, for the folks who don't know, Dad, let me start with you. Tell us about what the Amazing Race is for our viewers watching who don't know the concept of the show.
So the Amazing Race is 34 seasons in. It is a show that people go on together as peers, and they travel the globe. They do challenges. At the end of it, for our legs, it's 12 legs. At the end of it, the last person who checks in first after doing the last challenge will be the winner of $1 million.
$1 million US dollar?
1 million US, not
USD.
Yes.
Then you couldn't call me. Okay,
Well, I saw you guys doing a challenge earlier.
Well, you know, we got $1 million $0 for that.
Like
Okay, so you get the challenges. It's 12 legs. You have to move from point A to point B. Inter-country. This is not like, you know, we're going from Ochi to half a tree. You have to take plane, move from Jordan, Austria, Italy, France, Spain, Iceland.
Yes.
Incredible. So they just opened it up to international folks, and you guys were like, yes, we're in. Sharik, tell me about how you and Dad decided you were going to be a part of this.
Yeah, so we migrated to the US when I was about 3 years old. And essentially, literally, like, we were not citizens at the time, so we weren't able to travel much. We also didn't really have the money to travel much. So when I was probably 9 years old, we started watching this show. And ever since then, I was like, Dad, as soon as I am old enough, when I turn 21, I want to be on this show. Unfortunately, I turned 21 during the pandemic, so they didn't have a season that time.
Right.
And this was the very first season they were casting after the pandemic. And literally I saw it on TikTok, actually, that they were casting. I called my dad immediately. I was like, I'm coming over. We're filming a video today. Because this is something that is, 13 years in the making. So that is essentially how we we already knew since I was 9 years old that we were going to do this show, but to actually be doing it is surreal, a dream come true.
Well, to want to do it is one thing. To submit a casting video is quite another. And then to be selected, because I can imagine how many folks would have submitted. So what did you guys do differently in your casting video? What did you do? Did you say, yeah, man, we come from yard? What did you do?
That's exactly how we started.
100%.
Because we decided from the get-go that we're going to represent Fui country. We're proud Jamaicans, and we decided we're going to do our casting tape, the first one in Prospect Park in Brooklyn, near to Flatbush, which is where we...
Of course, epicenter of Jamaicans live. Yeah. So, okay, so you're chosen and you go now. What were your expectations, Sharik? Because you've been trying to do this since you were 9. Linton, you as well. How difficult was the actual experience vis-a-vis what you had seen on television? Because it looks hard when you watch it. It looks very difficult.
Yep. Here's the thing is, like, you're sitting on your couch, right, in your nice air-conditioned home, and you're watching the show, and you're like, oh, they should have done that better, or they should have done that better, or like you're like, oh wow, that looks really hard. But the thing that you don't really account for is the sleep exhaustion, you don't have your phone during the race.
No cell phone.
Right? Yeah, we can't. If we have questions, we can't Google it. If we need directions, we have to ask random strangers.
Can't talk to other cast members.
Yeah, we can't talk to anyone else if we're not filming. So there's like a lot that happens on the race that people don't see. And honestly, from what you see on the screen, it is 10 times harder when you're actually doing it in person.
What about things like food?
Oh, we got food, man. Food galore. But it's whether or not the taste bud really like the food.
Right.
Yeah,
It depends on the country.
Yeah, not still on the curry goat name
Jamaican curry goat. Right.
Yeah, correct. We got you. So how long did shooting actually take?
Is it 6 weeks?
4.
Is it 4 weeks?
Yeah.
It felt
4
longer
weeks,
to your dad, Sharik.
It seemed longer.
Clinton said 6 years.
Right.
And so no cell phones. Can't talk to any other cast members. Tell me what that did for your relationship. I'm curious.
Mm-hmm. It made us get closer.
Yeah.
We were always close growing up, but may I tell you, man, this race, we were in a room by ourselves, so most of it. So we had conversations upon conversations. Some things were brought up by me, by Sharik, that we never discussed before.
Never talked about,
so
yeah.
we got into them and we delved into our inner therapeutic minds and hearts. And trust me, it was more therapy than anything else, just spending time together. And we just got much closer.
That's so fun. So the relationship is strengthened as a result of this experience.
Absolutely.
How many countries later now?
Ooh,
How many countries later?
You talk about Germany, you talk about Jordan, you talk about Austria, Italy.
Yeah.
The race went to Iceland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot. There's a lot. The first episode, mainly, we can only really talk about the first episode in depth, though, because that's the only one that's actually been released. But it released on Wednesday, and it was in Germany is where we started. And it was the very first time that the race started outside of the country. It was also the 400th leg of the race, so it was like a big deal. And there were some twists that have never happened before on the race. So,
for example,
definitely.
what were some of the harder things you had to do? Obviously, without breaching your NDA. Yes.
Right. I was like, the NDA is very strong.
I know.
So we'll answer around.
Yes.
But Dad, you were gonna say?
The first leg, they said that because on the race, you actually go through 1, then 2, then 3, right? But this time they gave you 3 tasks to do, and you could do them in any order. That was a first. It was also a first to start the race outside of America. We started in Germany. So you already don't know where you're there. You have no context to it.
Yeah, don't speak German.
Right.
Whoa, Mr. President, never did somewhere Timbuktu can't find your way back. I'm so glad you're back on American soil. I mean, at some point it must have been like, will we come back?
Yeah.
Yes.
For those who missed it, we came in the top 5 on first leg.
Oh, what?
Out of 12 teams. It was very hard. As I said, as my dad was saying, it's the very first scramble ever. This is the very, very, very first season of The Amazing Race where there are no non-elimination legs, which basically in the past, sometimes a team will come last and they'll be like, you are last, but you're not eliminated. You can keep racing. And it's just kind of like to motivate the players that are at the back of the pack to keep going. This is the first season ever that if you come in last every single leg, you're going home.
Oh my God.
So yeah, the stakes are so much higher, right?
Right.
The stakes are so much higher. So for us to finish in the top 5 in the first leg was unreal.
Our aim was just not to go home first.
Right. We said top 11. I just want at least 11th place, but we were good the first leg.
Wow. So has this kind of satiated the bug, or are you guys going to be on Survivor next? I mean, what's next?
Who knows?
You see, they know.
Who knows?
Who knows, right?
You see on the face. We know Jamaicans, we can do anything we put our minds to. So I'm going to ask you, but I know you can't tell me. Like, the season has wrapped. Did you win?
Can't tell you. Who knows? You have to keep watching.
Right.
Keep watching to find out. Wow. Richer for the experience, guys. No regrets. Enjoyed it?
Regrets.
Loved it to the max. And the part we loved the most is the fact that we got to represent Jamaica through the whole thing. Mm-hmm. Because we, like I said, we were both born in Jamaica and we migrated here, but we've always had this affinity and we have family and every chance we get, we're at the island. We were just there last weekend at Beres Hammond's party. And I tell you, we're so happy to represent the country.
Very nice.
Always.
Very nice, folks. Well, when you come back, come see us, no? When you're physically in country. Where in Jamaica are you from? And is there anybody you guys want to say hi to before we go?
Born in Westmoreland, grew up in Montego Bay. Sharik was born in Montego Bay.
Okay. So Dad is still
And hi to my mother. I'm a Jean Rankin. Hi to the Rankin family. Hi to the Hills. Hi to all of the people that are from the Church of the Nazarene. Bless you, know. Love you.
All right. Me love how Linton gone from 2010 and not a trace of a American accent. Sharik, you left when you were 3. We're going to give you some latitude, Sharik, because, you know.
Come on.
Yeah.
I can speak patois.
Say something.
Me can't chat.
Okay. Mickey
Go
and
ahead,
chat.
Sharik. Try speak patois. Let me hear you.
No, not right now.
Come on,
Not
Sharik.
here.
Come on. If you can do the Amazing Race, you can talk a line of patois. 1.
Okay. Medea.
All right. Respect.
Oh,
We'll
good.
work with that. We're going to work with that. Folks, what a joy to talk to you this morning. Thank you so much for being here and for being so
Thank you for
bold
having
and
us.
brave and repping us on the world stage in an amazing race as an amazing people. Thank you so much.
Thank
All right,
you. Thanks
respect.
for having
Thank
me.
you so
All right,
much.
contestants in the amazing race on CBS, father and daughter, Linton and Sharik Atkinson. After the break, we are rolling out. Roll out.